Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, where we mix business, law of attraction, spirituality, and well-being with great guests and phenomenal stories. You'll hear hints, tips, and up-to-the-minute information on digital communication from an expert in her field. Pearl has some wonderful individuals in her networks, and she will be interviewing them all at some point in the future. Enjoy your listening.
Okay, hello and welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast. And once again, I've got a very, very special guest that's agreed to come onto the podcast today. We've been chatting for a while. We connected on Facebook, had loads of synchronicities, and anyone that knows me knows that I use the S word a lot. So what I'm going to do is, without further ado, I am going to introduce you to my wonderful, wonderful guest for today. And that is Rashmi Wattel. She's originally from India and she's a speaker and a public speaking coach. Now, I've already learned an awful, awful lot from her. Welcome, Rashmi. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. My surname is Wattel, Rashmi Wattel.
Sorry. I do apologize.
No, that's okay. A lot of people do it. Patel is a very common surname. So, yeah, that's all right.
Okay, thank you. So, I will apologise for that to all the audience, but we will see. So, shall we jump straight in with the first question? Rashmi, can you describe your career path to date, please?
Yep. So, I originally am from India and I have an engineering and a project management background. I have been working in the technical field for almost close to 2 decades, 18 years to be precise. And the current business that I run, I'm a public speaker and a public speaking coach. That is totally by circumstances. And from an education perspective, I've completed my Master's in Business, MBA from the Curtin Graduate School of Business here in Perth, Western Australia. So, yeah, and I intend to do a PhD in the communications field because I feel that, when you educate yourself, you open paths to learning and spreading that knowledge for others. So engineering, project management, MBA, working in the corporate sector, not-for-profit sector with the electricity company, IT companies in different projects. But the business that I do is basically my passion for speaking, and not just speaking, but the ability to see that transformation in others when they can speak with confidence and they can share their story.
Yeah, that is absolutely brilliant. And that's the synchronicities when we first connected and we had that chat over Messenger. We had so many things work together, and it's just lovely to hear that. Now, could you name 3 things that made you choose your current career and why? You might have touched on it slightly on the introduction.
Yeah. So my current career, as Pearl, you have mentioned that I'm a public speaker and a public speaking coach. What made me choose? So number 1 was that I have a natural flair of speaking. Like, I get a kick when I'm in front of the room. The second reason I chose my coaching career is totally circumstantial. So 2 years ago, I caught myself in a situation where my younger daughter had some health issues and I could not send her to a daycare center just like I sent my elder daughter. And I was like, I need to do something. I can't be like, just taking care of the kids in the house. And when I digged in deeper, I realized that I have this gift that I can teach others how to calm their nerves and speak with confidence. So circumstances is the second reason why I chose my current career. And third is, this is my way of giving back to the society, to the world, because whatever I teach to my clients is based on my lived experience in Australia. So They are the three reasons. So first reason is, of course, my passion for public speaking. Second is circumstances. And third is the fact that this is how I believe that I can give back to the society.
Oh, this is wonderful. Already the energy on this interview is just brilliant. It really is. And I'm going to deviate slightly because on Facebook, I actually saw recently that you turned up as a guest and you were asked to speak. Now, as a public speaker, you have to be top notch to do that because a lot of people would back away and be quite scared.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that, Pearl. So what happened was that I've been with Toastmasters in the past, but as I was finishing my MBA, I was working full time, and I had my second daughter as well. So it was getting a bit too much. So I took a break from them. But now the kids are a bit older, and I work on my business full time. So I thought to myself that, okay, let me visit a few Toastmaster clubs which are nearer to me because I no longer work in the city. So I was like, there's no point joining a club in the city, the one that I had earlier been part of. So I went there, and there is this thing people who are with Toastmaster would be familiar with. They call it the table topics. So it's basically to encourage impromptu speaking. So they give you a topic. The host will give a topic, and then they'll randomly pick a person. And then they said that, would you like to speak? I was like, okay. And the time that you get to think is the moment you listen, and from there to the time you walk up to the front of the room. But then it's not a long speech. It's 1 minute, 30 seconds. But I believe that, that gives me that high that I was talking about, thinking on my feet and just sharing and connecting with the audience, because no one expects you to be perfect. It's your own judgments that force you to think that, oh my God, I'm not prepared. But if you tell the other way around, that yes, I am prepared. It's okay. No one is expecting me to be perfect. We are all humans. So you deliver your best.
Oh, this is wonderful. And actually, it's such great advice for anyone looking to get into this sphere. Now, I know these are going to be strong with you with this next question. What key values does your business offer you?
In terms of values, the biggest of the first and foremost is my ability to connect with people and be transparent.
Yeah.
Because I feel if you cannot make that connection, then it's not a true service that you're offering. So if you can connect with your clients, if you can connect with your audience, and that's why I work with people from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds. So if you're bilingual, if you're multilingual, I work with you, because that's my lived experience here initially when I came to Australia. I couldn't understand the accent. I couldn't understand the slang. And I think since English is not my first language, so I first think in my mother tongue and then convert it into English. So the first value that my business offers to the clients is connection and being that true value, truth, or true value or of true service. And the other value that we have is be your authentic self. So if you are trying to be someone else, then you will never be comfortable in your own skin, and eventually people will figure it out. So I am a mom, and I'm a proud mom of two future leaders, as I like to call them. So if I try to portray myself as just a corporate woman, I don't want to talk about my kids, then I feel that I'm not being my true authentic self. If I call myself that, okay, yes, I am an Australian citizen. Yes, I am. But I do come from India. I was born and brought up there. 32 years of my life I've spent there. So that country is a big part of my existence. So being your true authentic self is the second value that my business promotes and believes in. And transparency, which is following on from being authentic. That, whatever it is, whether you have had a bad day or a good day, like recently, something happened with me where I was promised something like, promised a speaking opportunity, but later on, it did not turn out to be like that. And I actually shared the experience on my LinkedIn profile because and I did not name the council or the people involved, but I shared it to the fact to let everyone know that, all of us face setbacks, but if you're transparent and if you share your experiences and learn from them and still be grateful that at least you got offered that opportunity, then that's what transparency means to me.
Oh, this is absolutely wonderful. I mean, one, you're probably further ahead than most people. I mean, I struggled with French at school. I had to take the exam twice and I still didn't get a good grade. And all the work you've done, being bilingual, working with all the different things, that shows so much understanding and the amount of work and effort that you've put in. And when you talk about transparency, yes, that is just perfect, because so often we've all done it. We all get excited and think, yes, we think we've got this fantastic new gig. And then when you actually take part in it, it's not quite what you've been led to believe. And sharing that we can all connect, that authentic self, and actually see the transparency and see. And then you've got that empathy and understanding as well, that we know exactly we're coming from the same place. And we've all been there. It doesn't matter where you are on the ladder, it can still happen, and we all learn and grow from it, which is a lovely, lovely thing to share. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Pearl.
I'm now going to move. Now, this question I've added, I used to ask the CEOs when I'm working with corporate and I'm asking for a blog article. This question, I've thrown it in, but I find it really helps with my podcast guests because you get to see a bit more of your psyche. Rashmi, what keeps you awake at night?
Oh, nothing, I would say. I do get a very sound sleep. I'm very fortunate that way. But if I mean, that's for the laughs. But in terms of what actually keeps me, or what, if there is anything that can keep me up at night, is that vision of a world where people will not have to hesitate. Like, that fear of judgment will not be there. So I can dress up and I'm not defined by how I look. So if I haven't put the makeup on, and I do that, sometimes I go to meetings, like I went, like in Australia, we have this Are You OK Day, which is to promote mental health awareness. We celebrate it every year on the 10th of September. So I went and saw the local councillor, zero makeup. And I was still my confident self. And that's what I teach my clients, that it's not how you look. That can add to you feeling good about yourself, but that should not define you. So what keeps me up at night is my vision of that world where people can just be their true, authentic self without having that fear of judgment from others or from themselves. Like, where you will not have to put that mask on, and you can just be yourself and still be accepted in the society.
Oh, I love this. And I love both the answers, because yes, a lot of the guests I've had, when I ask that question and they say, no, nothing keeps me awake at night, one, that tells me that they're on the right path. They're happy in their own skin and they know that they're doing exactly what they want to do. But also, where you're saying that being your authentic self and knowing you've got the confidence to stand up there and deliver, that's something that I think everyone strives for. And with that, I completely agree. It's a wonderful, wonderful vision. I think we're getting there. And I know the work you're doing, that is empowering so many people to actually get to that stage so that they can feel confident in themselves and step up and actually deliver and be authentic in everything that they're doing. So I thank you for that. Really do.
Oh, I thank you for the opportunity, Pearl.
I'm now going to ask, now we're going to move on to sort of background so the listeners can see if they want to work with you, they can get to see how you work best and connect and almost get that personality in place. So my next question is, where and how do you work best?
So I would say that in an ideal world, I love the use of technology. And I had no idea, like, none of us had the idea that, COVID will hit us in a way that we will not be able to meet or deliver things online, in person. But the way I look at it is that, the situation has opened up a new world where we are a lot more connected. As I said to you in our earlier conversation, that if it wasn't for the situation, I would be busy working my own time differences in my own country than thinking about connecting with people across the globe. So how I work best is in an online space,
Yeah.
and using technology to our advantage, because I feel that that's how the industry is going to move. Whether you are in an IT industry or in the speaking industry, what will happen going forward is that we need to be a lot more flexible in terms of how the events and situations, events will happen.
Yeah.
So I work in an online space. I do conduct face-to-face workshops locally as well, as when things open up, I do plan to do that internationally. But yes, in an ideal world, I believe that that's the best thing to do. My programs are online. They have the ability for you to go at your own pace, and then you have coaching calls with me where you get that opportunity to ask questions, or I had one this evening, and my client, she just wanted to know, she has an interview, and since she has never given a video interview, she was like, I can't do the power pose, I can't do the handshake, I have to sit down in front of the screen. How do I do it, Rashmi? So yeah, I work best in the online space, using technology to my advantage, and giving the clients the opportunity to work at their own pace.
I mean, this is brilliant because technology has allowed you and I to do this podcast, because we're sat opposite ends of the globe, aren't we? I mean, you're Australia, and yet we're still connected. And it's working. And this is perfect. I mean, yes,
absolutely.
COVID has brought lots of, I wouldn't say negative, but struggles into our work-life balance. But the fact that we've got the likes of Zoom, we've got things like StreamYard, we can do video conferencing, we can still connect on a level that maybe we wouldn't think of before. Like you said, yes, ideally, any of us that coach like that face-to-face, because you can read body language, you can really get that connection. But I think you get a strong connection and build that relationship from the online options that we have available as well. So we're making use of what's there, and it's building, and we're building a strong relationship, because I'm hoping that when it's all sorted, you and I will get to actually meet in person when the travel is stopped, isn't sort of quite as tight as it is now. So yes, I look forward to that.
Yes.
Now, moving on from that question, can you might have touched on it again, and like the dialogue you and I have just had, what tools do you use that makes your work life easier?
Yep. So personally, I would say that there are two tools that really, really help me and can help anyone. One is my scheduling tool, the Calendly tool that I use for scheduling my sessions and my calls and the interviews or the other stuff, because that really helps me. In one place I can see, and my clients get reminders and things like that. So that's for scheduling. And for keeping all my talks and the speeches that I've delivered, I use an online tool that's called Sessionize. So it's an online platform, and it's basically for people in the speaking industry, I would say, that you can put all the speaking that you have done, links to those in one place. So you send a link, and if you are applying for a speaking opportunity in one place, going to that one link, the organizers can see all the speaking that you have done. So these are the two tools that are really, really helpful. And of course, we all know about Zoom and WebExes and Skypes and likes, but these are the two that I feel that are really, really helpful.
That is that second one that you said, especially for those that want to grow in their public speaking arena. That is fantastic, because I didn't know about that. So I'm going to look that up as soon as we finish the interviews. I'm going to be looking that up.
No problem.
Because it's a perfect way to add it to your profile so that people can see what you've done before and see if your personality, the topics you speak about, actually work and fit with what they're coming up and what they want on their agenda. So yes, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm now going to move on to a different bit where we get to know a bit more about Rashmi now. So we're going to say, what would you have done differently in your life if you'd known then what you know now?
I would have started public speaking coaching earlier, because it is the third time that this opportunity has knocked, and it's the third. When it happened the third time, I just decided that I'm not going to listen to other people. I'm just going to listen to what my heart says and go for it. So the first time it happened was quite early on in my career in 2005, and I was offered two roles. There were two internal vacancies. I was working for a telecom multinational at that time, and there was an option to take up a speaking, take up a training role. So that would have actually moved my career in a totally different direction. But my father at that time said that training is like a side side business for a telecom company. The main business is the technical stuff that you do. You come from that engineering background, so you should continue in that. So I was like, okay, that's fine. 3 years in my career, I was like, Dad knows better. So I did that, and then it happened again here in Australia. I used to really look up to this lady boss, and she was a distinguished Toastmaster. And I asked her when I was at the crossroads of changing roles, and she said that, no, Rashmi, you come from that engineering project management. Now you're finishing your MBA. You continue in that career path. So I didn't take it up then, but this time I was like, I'm going to follow my heart. So probably that's the only thing that I would have done differently. I would have started my coaching business earlier on.
Now, the universe, if the universe has an idea for us, it will knock and knock and knock until we actually listen, take notice, and act on it. I've had that happen with my careers, where it happens again and again, and then you suddenly realise the synchronicities, that the fact that it's been told again. Yes, sometimes you're taught things where you have things happen over and over again because you didn't learn the first time, or you have that option. Yes. This is the journey you need to take, and this is the option, we're handing it to you. And sometimes if you miss on that third one, is there going to be a fourth or fifth? You don't know. But yes, you've taken that. And just, I say again, the work you're doing, it's perfect. It's authentically you. You are so good. Everyone you work with, you empower, and you bring them forward and help them to learn and grow as well. So it's the perfect role for you. So yes, it's lovely. It's lovely to hear.
Thank you so much. But what I feel is that when it came for the first two times, maybe I wasn't ready. I needed to go through all this journey, all these paths. I need to cover. I wasn't ready at the two earlier times when the opportunity knocked, and that's why probably the universe was telling me, but wasn't aligned in a way that I could actually take that step. So I had that learning, that journey to complete before I could empower others.
Yeah. Yes, that makes perfect sense as well. That really does. I'm now going to move on and ask, what is your biggest challenge and why?
My biggest challenge, and again, I'll be very honest, as I said, transparency is my biggest value. My challenge is juggling the mom life, the business, and the house. So I feel that, my kids are the biggest, they are the reason why I decided not to go back to full-time work, because my husband works full-time. He's still not home. So he has a very stressful job. So I thought to myself that, if I pick up a full-time role, then having 18 years of experience, you'll be in the middle management or high management level, and it'll be too much of stress. Who will take care of the kids?
Yeah.
And we did not bring them to the world thinking that my parents or my parents-in-laws will take care of them. If they're there, that's great. It's a blessing. So that's my biggest challenge. And I would be very honest that if any day I have to choose by taking a client call versus my kids, I always choose the kids, because I feel that time in my life will not come back, and I'm just doing that. This is just an investment that I'm doing in their future, so they will grow up as fulfilled human beings who were given love, who were taken care of. And if you're not telling a lie, the clients understand as well. Yeah. That there's something that has come up with the kids, or if there's a sports carnival, I wasn't aware of it, or if someone has fallen sick, I always take that, unless it's absolutely critical for the client.
Yep.
Yes, so that's my biggest struggle, trying to strike that balance.
Oh, but that's perfect. That shows again that authentic self, and I think that then resonates with the right clients that will come to you, because they can see that. And I think as a mother, yes, I mean, I brought my children up as a single mum from when my daughter was 9 years old. So I taught them, yes, a work ethic, but there were times when I look back now when my daughter said, "Mummy, I don't see you enough." And that's when I had to stop doing as much work and say, no, I need to take time for my children because they need me. And it is understanding that and seeing, and it's finding the work-life balance, like we've said time and time again.
Yes, that's true. But kudos to you. I mean, I sometimes by the end of the day, I'm like so frustrated. I tell my husband that now since you're home, if you don't come by 9, that's fine. But the moment you enter, then please don't expect to take calls or to do something. If you want to do something, because that's the way kids know as well. And we only he only gets a little bit of time with them. So hats off to you that you did it all by yourself. So I always salute single parents.
Thank you. Now I'm got the next question. I've been told it's talking to the ego. Now I didn't necessarily think of it in an egotistical way when I wrote it, so I hope that you and the listeners will bear with us. How do you want to be remembered, Rashmi?
I want to be remembered as a mother who decided to go against the grain. So financially, God bless my husband. I don't have to work. His income is more than enough for the 4 of us, and 6 of us, including my in-laws. But what I feel is that I have that skill, I have that gift. So I feel selfish not to give it to others.
Yeah.
And I totally believe in that the more money I make, the more people I can help. And I'm very open about the fact that, there's nothing wrong with earning money. I don't understand why money is such a taboo topic, but I want to be remembered as a mompreneur who decided that, this working full time is not just the only way to earn an income. And not just she did it herself, but she empowered so many other people to do the same.
Oh, that is perfect. And I'd say, yes, you are already embodying that. So that is absolutely perfect. That's what I love when I talk to my guests. When you share what you want, how you want to be remembered, and you're already showing that in everything you do, that shows you're on the right path and it's exactly what you should be doing. And I just love it. I just love it. And you've just confirmed it even further. So thank you.
Welcome.
Right, I'm now the next one. The next question is, as a child, what did you want to be and how close to that dream are you now?
So when I was little, I wanted to be a doctor, and I did this some healing work with one of the healers, and what came out was why I wanted to be a doctor, because I wanted to help others. I loved the fact that this family doctor of ours, people from all walks of life, whether you are financially well off or you are not, he used to charge less fee from people who were not financially well off, but he used to cure everyone.
Yeah.
No one ever had to come back from with their doctor's visit and not feel cured or not physically become better. But what came out of that session was knowing the fact that I wanted to be a doctor because I wanted to help people, and by helping others, I feel content. I feel empowered. I feel that I'm doing something with my life.
Yeah.
So as a child, I wanted to be a doctor. And now I think, when I do my PhD, I'll get that doctor ahead of me. And with my work, I'm already helping people, and I feel very proud helping people.
Oh, this is absolutely wonderful. And it is, like you said, it's showing that you're doing your true calling. And it really is. And it's just, like I say again, the energy on this interview is just fantastic. And the more we're getting to know you, the more synchronicities I see, and I can see why you and I have connected and where the universe has put us together, because I can see so many things that you do where we think alike. This is absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
Now, this next question, this is me being slightly selfish because I absolutely love reading. So I always add to all my guests, can you name 3 titles of your favourite books and why you've chosen them, please?
Yep. So I'll again, be honest here. And I was not into reading. Things have changed now. But when I finished my MBA, I was done with books. I told myself that I'm never, ever picking up a book again in my life. But, as we say, that destiny had other plans. So the first book that actually was introduced to me by one of my business mentors, that is The Go-Giver Leader. So I used to feel, this is 3 years ago, and I used to feel that, I'm a very selfish person. Like how people say that, how you be happy when others around you are happy. And I never used to feel like that. And I told her that, I don't feel like that, Karen. It doesn't come to me. And I don't want to fake it. I don't want to just say that, I'm happy by your success where I'm not. Internally, I'm not. So she suggested this book. It's called The Go-Giver Leader. And when I read the book, I realized that when you give, you don't give your power away. You actually elevate not just yourself, but the other person. And the person who's giving always has that right or that authority or that power. Because for giving, you don't have to ask. But if you are if you want to receive, you definitely have to ask to be receiving. But if you want to give, you can give anytime to anyone and anything that you want. So it gives you that upper hand. And that was definitely a book that it's a simple book. It's a short read. The second book I would say is The Magic of Thinking Big. And when I read that book, oh my God, my perspective of life changed. And the fact that it is said in the book that whether you think small or you think big, the energy required is the same.
Yeah.
Whether you do something, whether you're thinking small things or you're thinking something bigger, if you have a big vision, the energy required is not in proportion to the vision or the small aspect or the big aspect. So might as well think big. And the third one, I would say, the 5 love languages. And when when that book was suggested to me, I was struggling with my elder daughter. So my relationship with her, she's exactly the mirror image of myself. But she is what I was at 20. She's at 7. So I never thought that I would be facing myself so soon. But she is like, she totally believes in transparency, being fair, and I'm like, can you let go? Can you just be like a normal 7-year-old and not think so much about being fair and how the world needs to work and how we need to help people and this and that. So I was like, I was really struggling developing that relationship with her because I was facing myself, which I wasn't ready for. And when I read the book, I realized that, her love language is that quality time.
Yeah.
And since she was little, I was always working, and she used to go to daycare 5 days a week. So, somewhere in that where I decided to take care of my needs first, that has kind of created a bit of a void in her. Now when she sees her younger sister spending all the time with mom and only going to daycare. Last year she was only going 1 day a week, and now this year she doesn't even go that day. She doesn't understand that there are health conditions that she has, but as a child she thinks that she gets that privileged treatment, whereas I used to go and I was away the whole day. So I realized, and now we do that. So on weekends, it's just me and her. We talk, we go on a walk, we eat some of her favorite milkshakes and cupcakes and stuff. And oh my God, it has made so much of difference. And so these are the 3 books I would say they have totally changed my perspective of life.
These are absolutely wonderful. And again, synchronicities. I did my degree in English. I did language and literature. So I studied books, reading books, the whole of my degree. And when I finished that, like you say, I was thinking, I don't ever want to see a book again, because if someone asked me, what do you like to read? I couldn't even tell you a genre that I like, because it had always been tied up with answering the essay questions, understanding, reading around the subject that I was studying, that I didn't know what I liked to read for me. So it took me ages to actually get back to that. And yes, I've got thousands of books now. A lot of them are research because of what I'm doing, and I like to know that I'm educated enough to pick that up. And yes, there's a few books that I read just for pure relaxation, that I can just disappear into something and just forget. So yes, that is absolutely perfect. And when you say about your daughter, I can see my son with that. I mean, my son's just turned 29. He's my firstborn. And there's times we rub each other up the wrong way. And that's simply because he's got all my bad qualities, all the bits where sometimes I think, oh, I wish I'd change that. He's so loving and giving and everything. And I just see me, like you said, with your daughter, I see the mirror of me, but it's the bits that maybe of me I'd like to change, because I might get stronger in certain ways. And it's amazing. Synchronicities again. I mean, I love my son to bits, and we've got a far better, stronger relationship now as he's growing up. And he said to me just a few weeks ago, he said, Mum, I made your life hell when I was a teenager. When I look back, he says, I'm so sorry. And he said, Mum, I love you. And that just made it all worthwhile. For someone of that age who's an adult to say that,
absolutely. That's a massive achievement.
Yes. So it made me feel not quite so bad that, yes, we do have times where we clashed, but it just felt so much. And when I say again, synchronicities, see, this is where you and I, the more we're discussing, the more we're learning about each other. We've got so much in common.
So much in common. Exactly.
So I wonder what this next question will show us then.
Okay, let's go for it.
Who would you say are your key influencers and why?
Oh, I would say Michelle Obama. And why I would why I say that, I really got influenced by her. I read her book, Becoming, Michelle Obama. And I just felt that, that I was actually with her walking through her life.
Yeah.
And I feel that, it requires a lot of courage to actually open up in the way she has.
Yeah.
And the initiatives that she has taken, like, she did not have a job description, as she said, as the first lady. And she refused to actually see what other first ladies have done because she did not want to be influenced.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that, someone of like, who has been the first lady, the first Black lady of the country, like, of the US, being vulnerable, sharing about her pregnancies, the babies that she lost, the IVF process that she had gone through, and the kitchen garden that she started off, and how she worked through the process. That, of course, bringing in that awareness in children about food, and how that the whole initiative worked. And also the other initiative that I loved that was mentioned in the book is that, kids who are up here, like, the top performers, they always get something. The ones who are not working, they also find either a profession or something to work for themselves. But the kids in the middle, they are the ones that she has decided to work on. And she's like, she takes these children who are mediocre in their class and shows them, takes them to the universities. Her program does that and shows them what is possible.
Yeah.
And that, I think, was wonderful. Like, no one even thinks of, teachers are always worried about people who are below average, because, they are the ones who the teacher feels obliged, or the school feels obliged to help. And the top achievers, they're always favorites. They always get ahead with other things. But no one ever thinks of the mediocre or the middle of the class. And she's running so many initiatives about women empowerment. And before Michelle, I would say my granny, so my mom's mom, my nana. So when I was little, my brother and I are like, he's a premature baby and 1 year and 7 days apart in terms of our birth dates. So my mother was very weak, and my brother was very weak. So I used to live with my mom's mom, my nana.
Yeah.
And there's so much that I've learned. Like, for a long time, I did not even know that she's not my mother. I used to feel that she's my mother. And she's the happiest person that I've seen. She never worried about anything. And she was always happy. If you ask her for a cookie, she'll give you a couple. And she's like, eat and have milk and be merry. I say, why eat one when you can eat two? So just, always happy, always giving. So these are the two women who have really influenced me in my life. So I would like to be like them and cause that change. Whereas my own mother, probably because of the experiences that she has had, and my personality is very different, totally the opposite. So my mother is an introvert. So I still sometimes, very occasionally, she'll call and she'll open up. But otherwise, I'm more close to my dad.
Yeah.
We talk about the world politics, about, how women need to step up, and how when you teach a girl, you are teaching 3 families. So the family that she lives in, the family that she'll go to, and the next generation, the kids' families as well. So, yeah.
Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. I've got goosebumps just listening to that answer. It is, I mean, Michelle Obama, that Becoming, I've listened to it on Audible. Haven't quite finished it yet, but yes, when you actually hear her saying the words, and when you said like that piece where she's doing the work with the mediocre, where she said her journey through school, where she had a friend that was the high achiever and would always go, whereas she had to work that much harder. And when she went to university, she went the semester earlier, didn't she, or through the summer, and worked on things to actually. And when you realise just how much effort she's put in to get the results, and it shows you can accomplish things. And yes, if it doesn't come easy, you just keep going. You keep going, and you chip away, and then you still achieve those. And what you've said about family, completely agree with all of that. And I love that, where a girl's trained for the three families. That is just wonderful. I might ask you to send me that quote, because that is absolutely beautiful. I love it. I might add it to my affirmations or something, because it is such a fantastic thing. It's just wonderful. So just thank you. I could gush forever about that, because I love what you've answered there. And it shows how connected we are once again. I'm going to move on to this next question. It's the longest question of all the interviews, and I always have to take a big deep breath when I say it, but I think it's worth it. Rashmi, if you could share a great meal with anyone, alive or dead, what would the meal be, and who would it be with?
I would say I would like to have a vegetarian meal with the Prime Minister of India. So the current Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. And why I would like to, I personally normally get connected to or feel that, connection with people in power. So I've worked with the CEOs in very early on in my career. But I get that joy out of seeing female leaders, but Mr. Modi is one person that his journey is such, there's so much to him than what is the public appearance. When he ran his first elections for the state, he became the chief minister. When he ran the elections for the first time, he became the prime minister of the country. And the reforms that guy is doing, it's just amazing. Running a big, huge democracy as India is not child's play. But coming to what he has promised and he's delivering is just astonishing. So I would like to, if I get that opportunity, I would definitely like to hear from him his experiences and how does he manage such a big country and runs it so efficiently.
Oh, this is wonderful. And again, it's inspirational. And like you've said, the fact that I've put the person and I put the meal in, because then it means that the conversation lasts, it's relaxed. And when people discuss over a meal, I think you learn more, because it's not like you're sitting there and it's an interview type question and answer. It's just sitting there, enjoyed, everyone's relaxed, and you get the responses that you want. And also it's lovely to think of the meals, because as you were describing that, I can literally picture and I can smell certain scents and thinking that the spices and everything, it's all just perfect. That is really such a wonderful answer, and in so much depth. And I know we've nearly come to the end of the interview now. We've only got a couple of questions, but I'm going to ask you one extra thing. We have such a strong connection, Rashmi, and everything. Would you be a regular guest on my podcast, please? You have so much to share. I mean, yes, we do the initial thing where we get to know you, but I'd love to invite you back as a regular guest where we can talk about loads of different topics. Obviously, with your schedule,
that would be an honor.
Oh, thank you.
That would be an honor, definitely. I mean, when we talked for the first time, as you said that you are a very spiritual person, so am I. And today, as I was telling you that my client, she has a web interview, and she was scared. So I told her about certain meditation techniques, which are about forgiveness. And she's like, I never thought of forgiving myself. And, I said to her that, when you do that, you'll feel so much lighter. Although she signed up for my program to be a confident leader. But if you don't heal your inner self, you can't just keep on polishing the surface and expect the light to come from within.
Yeah.
So she was telling me in her own words, she was like, Rashmi, now you are my doctor. You're my doctor, you're my surgeon, you're my spiritual teacher, you're my everything. Whatever you say, it just makes so much more sense to me. And I'm like, it's because I am not teaching you something which I haven't practiced. Yeah. And people say that, there is a lot of, hoo-ha about meditation, about journaling, about being regular with your exercises and yoga. Yoga is a type of meditation. And until you experience it yourself, again, when you teach it, it doesn't have that much of strength and the effect. So, it would be an honor to be back again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I say to the audience listening, make sure you subscribe to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast so you will know and get an alert every time I add and publish more episodes. So you will know when Rashmi is on again and you can listen to all the wonderful, wonderful information she has to share. So thank you for that. I'm now going to link the last two questions together because I think they do actually fit. They fit quite nicely. Can you tell us what services or items do you offer to your clients or customers? And do you have any special offers on at present?
Yeah. So the services that I offer are my online programs. And there are two main programs that I offer. So the first program is that, when you are starting off, or even if you are mid-career, but you struggle with confidence and you feel that, you have so much to offer, but you don't get that courage to speak up for yourself. Yeah. So that's my first program, Become a Confident Leader with Rashmi Wattel. And the second program that I offer is that, when you have spoken a little bit, you don't struggle with much of confidence, but you would like to take it up to the next level. You would like to be a TED speaker. You would like to find your niche. You would like people to identify you for a talk as a specialist or as a subject matter expert. So that's my second program, and that's called Speak Up and Be Heard with Rashmi Wattel, because we all can speak, but if we can make ourselves heard, when people look forward to what we have to say, that's when magic starts to happen. Yeah. So these are my two signature programs. And the third one that I offer is for people who are starting, not always starting, but they could be when they are doing work in the political arena, and they want their speeches to be written. And more than the writing, most of the time I've seen that the writing is still not a problem, but the delivery is. So I work with people who are in the political field. They're running for the councillor, the mayor, and they want someone to help them. That, if someone asks me for a 30-second elevator pitch, I should be able to do that. If someone asks me for an impromptu 3 to 4 minute speech, I should be able to do that. If it is a 10 to 15 minutes in a TED style speech where I know my topic, then I should be able to speak. So these are my three signature programs. And the special that I have at the moment is that I'm offering the Discover the Speaker Within You session that is normally valued at $199. I'm offering it complimentary. So you can have 30 to 45 minutes session with me where I work with you. I help you identify where you are in your speaking career, whether you need my help or not. And I'm not saying this out of any arrogance, but I don't work with everyone. Like, I only work with people where I feel that I can make a difference to their life. Because I tell this to all my clients, everyone that I speak to, that, your time is the most precious commodity, because once it's gone, it's gone. You can make money again, you can do things in life again, but you can never bring time back. So be very careful who you spend it with. So the sessions are designed to give a lot of value, and I'm offering them complimentary at the moment. So whether you take up a course with me or not, they are free of charge.
Oh, this is absolutely wonderful. Really is. I have loved this interview, and I look forward to when you can come back and be our guest again. And it just leaves me to say a massive, massive thank you. Just thank you, Rashmi. It's been wonderful having you on the podcast.
Thank you, Pearl. I can't put enough thank yous in a sentence, but honestly, it has been an honor and a privilege to be here. And just, how the dots get connected and how we got connected. And I just felt like an instant connection with you, and you giving me this opportunity. I'm forever grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the content shared. Please share with others who would like to enjoy these interviews and discussions. If you would like to support the podcast, please follow the link in the episode description. If you want to be a guest on the show, reach out and let's discuss next steps. Until the next time, enjoy your listening.